Tobago. Yeah,
Yo, people,
please.
welcome to the channel. Welcome to Tide Talks channel. I hope you are doing well. This stream is all about the reaction about our new owners, how the fans feel, how everyone feel about this news. So first of all, please like the channel, subscribe to the channel, and enjoy the stream. Today I have Hano here. I have Fair Boy. Welcome to the channel, guys. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, and thanks for having me on. And yeah, today is a special day. Todd Boehly finally as a new owner, and of course, the last day we can sing champions of Europe. We know what we are.
Yeah, I'm also good. Yeah, it feels good to know that the club has a direction, because when Roman was sanctioned and we thought we had no hope at all, then this benevolent man also came by and bought our club. So we are happy. We are happy for a news like this, and we hope that he continues to improve the club and make it bigger and better. So yeah, it's a fantastic news.
Yes, yeah, we've been so long waiting for this news. Finally, this news happened. I hope every Chelsea fan now is happy. We can relax and enjoy. We can sleep peacefully, because after the sanction, it never be great, guys. So first of all, I'm gonna start with Fair Boy. How do you feel about this news?
Well, as I just said, I'm excited about the fact that there's a new ownership, someone to direct our club. And when our old owner, or our former owner, Abramovich, was sanctioned, it was clear that if no one came in and bought our club, there's a huge possibility that our club would have been dissolved or would have been sold. And it will no longer be called Chelsea Football Club, right? And for me, I had this confidence that obviously people will come and buy Chelsea Football Club, because as we know, Chelsea FC is a very big brand. It's a global brand. You'll find supporters in Africa, like myself, from Ghana. I think you yourself from Nigeria, right?
South Africa.
There are Chelsea fans over there. Yes, Africa, right? If you go to America, there are Chelsea fans over there because of someone like Christian Pulisic. If you go to Asia, so it's a very big brand, and I wasn't surprised that people will line up, big men will line up to come and buy our club, because the club is very, very attractive, and it's no wonder we've had an owner within the shortest possible time, even though we needed to have some patience for us to have an owner to take over and direct the club for us. Yes, it's still something good that we've heard, that someone at least will be there to direct matters for us. So it's, for me, I take it as good news. Though, am I surprised that there's a new owner? No, I'm not surprised, because I know what sort of club Chelsea Chelsea FC is. So for me, when it comes to the new ownership and other things, I'm excited but not that surprised. So that's from me.
Yeah, man. Like, it's been long, so now it's done and dusted. Hopefully Monday can get the announcement officially. So yeah, man. So how do you feel about the new owners? It's announced so far.
I think I feel great, because finally we can do something that is not talk about flipping this ownership. We can finally talk about transfers, what players we can sign, and all that. So it's a huge barrier off our shoulders. The chain has been unlocked. We can now move freely, and that's a great thing as for Chelsea Football Club. And yeah,
You guys, yeah, so good to have finally have an owner. We can rest now. And also, guys, I want to ask you this question. What do you expect from the new owners? I know you can start.
so for me personally, I expect just Chelsea, just the owners. They must just do what Abramovich wanted them to do. The reason why Abramovich chosen them. He chose them. He chose the owners for the best owners to expand the women's team, to expand the men's team. Just do what you were brought here for, and I can't ask any more from them. So just do, and maybe do something bit more, but yeah. At this point, just do what you came here for, and that is to build this great club further up. And yeah, that's my expectations.
Okay, I know. First of all, welcome, Coachella in the channel. How are you, my brother?
I can't complain. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate that. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, we are good.
We are doing great.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
So, come to you, FA boy. What do you expect from our new owners? What are the expectations for our new owners?
When I look at Americans are very good when it comes to business. And a prime example is what we see at Liverpool. Even though they don't spend big, and of course, some of their signings were big money signings, but you could see that most of the players that they bought are not big money names, right? The likes of, I think, Mohamed Salah. I'm not sure he came at a very huge cost. Sadio Mane, Jordan Henderson, Robertson, and a host of others. Arnold. For him, he's a free agent. Let me say it that way, because he came from the academy. So if you look at the Liverpool module and their template, it's clear that our new owners will follow the same pattern. Okay, it gives us an idea of how our transfers will look like in the future. We are not going to spend as big as Roman Abramovich has been spending. No, that's not how the Americans are going to run the business for us. But rather, they are going to do smart businesses. So I think that's what I'll be expecting from them. If throughout their ownership, right, or their stewardship of the club, and they are not doing exactly what I'm expecting, of course I'll be disappointed. So that's what I'm expecting to happen. I'm expecting that the way we do our transfers will change.
Can I stop you for a little bit? If you're not talking, please mute your mic. Can continue, Febo.
All right. So as I'm saying, I expect that the way we do our transfers and the way we recruit our players will change, right? So we've already had a precedent. What FSG? No, we are not talking about the Glazers. The Glazers, they are different. For them, they have a problem. For them, they are money hungry. So I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about FSG, the owners of Liverpool. They have shown us how Americans run their thing. So that's what I'll be expecting from Todd Boehly. If Todd Boehly starts spending big, for me, I'll be surprised, because for the Americans, I know that is not how they do their thing. So that's what I expect from him. That the way we sanction deals, the way we scout, how we pay the players, how much you buy the players. All these things will change under this new owner. So for me, that's what I expect from this young man, Todd Boehly.
Okay. And Coachella, what do you expect from our new owners?
I expect a lot of things to change, and I have one concern only. I don't think the Chelsea fans are prepared for the new normal or the new reality, if you want, because under Roman Abramovich, we were able to just, as Declan would phrase it, we were able to throw money at problems. In some cases, not really solving the problems. Todd Boehly, as you must have heard him say on occasions that, we're going to spend, but we're going to spend strategically, and that makes sense to me. And that would be a good change, because most of the players were signed under, not most, let me say some of the players were signed, some of the big names, if you prefer, were signed under Roman Abramovich. We just sign them and then throw them at the manager and say, make it work. And that has led to, on occasions, managers being fired. Even when we had Carlo Ancelotti, who won us a double, should have stayed and helped us dominate the Premier League for a while. But he lost his job because of Fernando Torres. That's my argument. I'm not sure if that's the case, but it looked as if that was the case. Also, Jose Mourinho, during his first stint at Chelsea Football Club, I think, did we throw a player at him? But that's one of the things that I expect to change. I think had he been under Todd Boehly, then he would have stayed and helped us dominate the Premier League. So I expect us to change the culture of hiring and firing manager, because that's one of the main reasons why we've not been able to dominate the league or dominate Europe. And also, I expect us to stop buying players for the sake of, because we like them. We like those players, and then throw them at the manager and say, make it work. I think those are the two things I expect to change under him.
Thank you. I agree with you there. We need give our managers a chance to build their own team in their own style and give them time. So hopefully that change, man. And also, welcome Fahim to the channel. Also, Ramsey, welcome to the channel. So I'm gonna just hit you the question, Fahim. I'm gonna start with you. So, what do you expect from our new owners?
Big up to everyone for having me on. I agree with Coach. I expect a lot of changes in terms of recruitment. I don't think it'll happen this summer. It'll probably happen next summer or the summer after, because this sort of change does take time. It doesn't happen all at once. So patience is definitely needed from the fan base, but that doesn't exist. I know that, but so I expect that sort of change to happen. That Todd Boehly will bring in his sort of people in the scouting department and the board level. And I agree with Coach when it comes to sustainability. We've been up and down. We're not like winning titles every season by season, or even competing season by season. We compete once and then we drop off. The season after, then it's just a cycle almost. So hopefully, I do want to see Todd Boehly change that culture around. Like Coach said, hire and sacking managers, find the perfect, near enough perfect manager to handle the situation. For right now, it's Tuchel, and give him the backing he needs. Rebuild the squad again that can compete for the next 10 years. Make that spine of the team strong. Compared to the 05 team, like the spine was strong and lasted very, very long. We need to do that again. So hopefully that happens. So yeah, that's my expectation.
And you, Ramsey?
We have to expect so many things to change with this new owner, but I trust him. He has the passion for the game, and Chelsea will be Chelsea as well. What I expect from him is, I think he will sacrifice everything to make Chelsea as a better club as it was after Roman. We have to buy players. I think that's what he will do. He wants some big name players to our club. He wants to rebuild a big team that will compete like the likes of Liverpool and Man City. So for me, I trust him. He has everything to make Chelsea as a big team in England. Yeah, that's what I can say for now.
Tobago, before you continue,
Yes.
Before you continue, I also want to say something, and it would be to back a certain point that coach says about the hiring and firing managers. And I think under him, this should change. Now, it seems that when we were under Abramovich, the owner always tries to get the coach that is informed, regardless of what his philosophy is. But I think with Todd Boehly and his consortium leading the charge, how we recruit managers would also change, right? Not just the scouts, not just the kind of player, but how we recruit the manager, so that the players that we would scout for, it will fit the philosophy of the manager. Let's say, for instance, Thomas Tuchel leaves. Which manager can best succeed Thomas Tuchel when Thomas Tuchel's contract expires, right? So that we can continue the style of play we play and the philosophy we use, right? So I think that will also play a part. The change in how we hire managers, not just because they have big names and they've just succeeded in winning trophies, but also how they help the team with regards to philosophy and style of play, how they are able to succeed the other person who have already started a certain brand of football. And that is what I would also expect from Todd Boehly and his consortium to be doing.
If you don't mind, I think I would like to come in there. I think Fairboy made a very, very brilliant point. Tobago, can I go ahead?
Yes, coach, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. So he made a very brilliant point in the sense that because if you look, for instance, the transition between who came in first, I think it was Conte. We went from Conte to Mauricio Sarri. The contrast and the way the two managers like to approach the game creates a problem. We don't have, you can say for a long while now, we haven't had a defined way of playing at Chelsea Football Club. So, and then again, that brings to mind how that on its own, it's an issue. It's an issue because once you fire a manager and you get in another manager, for instance, from Conte to Mauricio Sarri, as I've established, both of which has a very, very contrasting way of approaching the game, then it would take Sarri time to implement his own way of playing, and Sarri would need new players also to be able to implement how he likes to approach the game, which without even knowing it sets us back a bit in terms of progress, in terms of our quest to dominate the Premier League. And this hiring and firing of managers, you could argue, is the reason why what we've had. Yeah, we've been successful under Roman Abramovich, but the success has been in patches. It is like every 3 years we'll win the league, and then it will be another 5 million years we'll win the league. Again, we'll win. Then again, it counts, but then it's not been in succession. It's been here, there, because of how we let managers go. And as I've established before, had we let Carlos stay, he'd dominate the league for a few years, even 3-4 years. But we fired him even though he won the double. Same thing as Jose Mourinho. So I want to thank you. I want to thank Fairboy for bringing it. That is specifically, stating how that can be. If hiring and firing managers can be a big problem for us.
If you don't mind.
Okay, sorry.
So no, sorry. You go ahead. It's fine.
Okay, so that is why I would hope that if Todd Boehly starts running things, he would need to hire a proper director of football.
Yeah.
Right. he is the one who is responsible for determining what brand of football we play, what perhaps system we would play, and what manager and players can fit into that system. So I think that should be one of the first things he do, or he does. He hires a director of football who would oversee all these things.
Yeah, that was exactly what I was about to say, because the DUF thing is so important right now. You look at Spurs now. They hired what's his name, Patrici, whatever his name is, as DOF, so that if Conte leaves, he can look at other managers that can suit that same style of play, identity. We don't really have an identity right now, so we need to build that up with Tuchel. And if Tuchel leaves, I'd expect the DOF that Todd Boehly brings in can find a suitable replacement for Tuchel. But yeah, I agree. I agree with Fairboy.
Yeah, guys, from my side, from our new owners, I expect a structure. We need to build a team according to a structure, because like under Roman Abramovich, we didn't have a structure. For example, as a Coachella said, like we had Antonio Conte, after Conte have Sarri, and they're playing two different types of football. So I think going forward, we need to have a structure. If Thomas Tuchel leaves, we need a coach similar to him, so that the players, they won't be confused in the pitch. So hopefully that will change. That's my say. So I want to ask you guys, are you happy with this question? Do you need to move on, or you still need to say something?
I think we can move on. Or I think we can move on.
Okay, guys. So now I'm gonna talk about the positive about the Todd Boehly Consortium. So I know you guys have doing some research about the consortium, also what they will bring into the board. So anyone can tackle this and start with it.
Sorry, can you ask that question again?
Okay, my question is positive of the takeover by Todd Boehly Consortium. Like, are you happy with them? Do you see changes? Are you positive with the Todd Boehly Consortium?
Here's the thing. Again, from what we've heard, how he runs his football, the baseball team, how well they've done, and what we've heard about him, it's all been positive, nothing negative so far, and we can only hope that doesn't change. And we can also hope it's not all talk, no action, because he said quite a lot. You could argue that the fan base has started liking him, but I trust the fact the structure of the what's it called, the contract or deal that seals the purchase of the club for Todd Boehly. I think that ensures that he's not going to do anything that will cause the club a problem. That's the most what you could say the most standout aspect of the whole thing that I've heard about the sale of the club, the anti-Glazers clause, if you want to call it that. I think that ensures that the club is in good hands. Even if it's not in a good hand, they're not going to do anything stupid given what they signed it there. And again, I think I'm not concerned in any way. I think we're good. We're in good hands, and Roman made sure that happens. If you read his statement today, you'd see that he made sure we're not going to fall into the wrong hands. And I think Todd Boehly is the right man. A lot of positives. I haven't seen anything negative. He understands that, okay, even if it's profit focused, the club has to be, performing. The club has to be winning stuff so that brands can come and say, okay, we want to sponsor you. Because the fact is, even you don't, if you're underperforming, if you're profit focused, you're not going to get big name sponsors. You only get big name sponsors when you're doing well. So I think he understands that, given what he said in interviews that I've watched. I think that lots of positives, nothing negative so far. It's the people that are concerned of his, that the fact that he's repeated on occasion, he wants to be making decisions based on data, which isn't bad. Data makes you make good decisions, so you don't make mistakes. Which means we don't just sign players because they're big names. We look at players and see it from the perspective of the manager, whether this player that we're planning on signing, whether they're going to work for the manager, whether they suit the manager's style of play, or the way the manager likes to approach games. Had Todd Boehly been our owner when we signed Lukaku, I don't think we'd sign Lukaku, because data would say, okay, the whole thing he's done is in Italy. He's had issues in England. He hasn't been that consistent in England. Again, that's me.
Yeah, Coach, I agree with you. So, yeah, hopefully we are in the right direction. Also, what I love about this takeover, Todd Boehly is head of everything. So him being the face of everything is so positive for me. So hopefully the other part owners will back him. Every decision he makes, they're going to back him. So hopefully we are good. Fair boy, you can talk now.
Yeah, and I think one other positive from his takeover would be how we phase off, let's say, the old generation. You see, the problem we've had under Roman is the fact that we don't prepare enough for players who are aging or perhaps leaving our club. We don't do that enough. So when the time arrives when the player has to leave the club or has to retire, then we are struggling to find replacements for them. I think Todd Boehly will change that culture. I'm quite certain that he will change that culture. You look at, for instance, what has happened to us this I think last season and perhaps this season, right? Look at the number of experienced defenders who are leaving us, and we've not, up to now, we don't know who is replacing them. We have kids who are talented, but still need more, I should say, more learning to do, right? Under experience. Okay, we also have someone like N'Golo Kante, who is in his 30s, right? Some don't want to sell N'Golo Kante, which for me, I still don't understand why we are afraid to sell a player like N'Golo Kante, right? He's a good player, but if there'll be a time when he wouldn't stay with us for a long time. So definitely you would need replacements. So if N'Golo Kante leaves us unexpectedly, who replaces him, right? And that's a problem. So I think Todd Boehly will be able to handle that aspect, how he'll be able to phase off the old generation so that the new ones can come and replace them. And when it also comes to the future,
here's where again, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't mean to cut you off. You seem to advocate for us to like do away with all the players in the team. I mean, let me know if you recognize the importance of having experienced players in the team, because I'll give you a perfect example. Maybe that's not what you're saying. Correct me if I'm misquoting you. My example I want to give you: Real Madrid are going to be playing against Liverpool in the UEFA Champions League final today. Why? Because they have experience on multiple occasions during the the knockout stages. People thought, oh, they're out. Well, because they have experience. Experience brings endurance in the team. They endured even when we Chelsea thought we've knocked them out. PSG thought the same. Man City thought the same. But because they have experience, so that's why I don't advocate for us to make like phasing. I know you use the term phasing out players, and correct me if I'm misquoting you, bro. And I know hopefully me cutting you off didn't come across as insulting. We're having a conversation here and we learn from each other. So my point is we should be careful. Those that are calling for the club to even sell N'Golo Kante should be careful how this, because again, Kante, they don't understand. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm on the same page with you. I understand. I get what you are saying. Experience is simple. I'm saying that if you want to phase off, I'm talking about how we phase off, what do you call it? The old guys, right? I'm saying that if you want to phase off the old guys, at times they could leave without, unexpectedly. There should be a replacement for them. If you get what I'm saying. So if you have...
And I have to agree, we haven't done that well in the past.
Yes, so that's what I'm talking about. So I hope that changes. Okay, if we have a young player whom we think he can replace, let's say N'Golo Kante, we should have him maybe 2 years. Let's say is it? I don't know if it is like some years ahead of time, so that he can understudy N'Golo Kante, as an example, so that when N'Golo Kante leaves, this young man can now take on the mantle of N'Golo Kante. I hope I'm making sense. You understand?
Yeah.
So if there are certain players whom, let's say, because they might be getting closer or getting near to the end of their contracts, there's a probability they'll be leaving. We need to get replacements as possible. And I think that if I look at the way Todd Boehly is, and for me, I think Americans are very strategic when it comes to business. I think he could solve that problem for us. He could. So that's one positive I'll take from it.
I have to mute myself because these guys are fighting.
Coach, you can go ahead. It's fine.
No, I think
what I wanted to say is this. We can be rest assured. I think we're not going to make that sort of mistake again in terms of now that we are in a transition period, whether we like it or not. It's not by design, but we've been forced to overhaul our team. And in the process, we must approach it strategically, or else it will be a big mistake. Where we've made that mistake before, I think I've said this before on my own show, is the transition from the era of DJ Drogba, Michael Essien, or John Terry to the era of Eden Hazard, Oscar, Willian. We weren't strategic about it. We faced out the spine of the club. And that's why we're facing the issue of Charity FC now. Because during the era of Frank Lampard, DJ Drogba, and John Terry, when we meet smaller teams, mid-table teams, or bottom-table teams, we already have 3 points. But now, because we don't have that spine, we don't have that, no matter how you see it, we still don't have that never die spirit that we have in a Chelsea team during that era. We lose to teams that we shouldn't lose to. So that's why I agree with you. You brought up a very important thing that we must be sure that the transition isn't drastic. If it is drastic, we'll face an even more. We'll see the Charity FC factor manifest itself even more than it shouldn't.
Yeah, and that's why I said it before. That this whole change will take time. It's not going to happen this summer. This summer, I'm just expecting like very few changes. In the next few years, we could see some big changes, maybe next summer. But this summer, I'm not expecting anything huge, to be honest. Like, it'll be pretty much the same as like last summer. Maybe we can make a bit more smarter signings. That's a possibility. But I'm not going to see too many signings this summer because these things take time. The transition, like Coach said, it takes time. This fan base, I know, like they don't allow that, but it's needed. It really is needed because this club has been up and down. The past, I don't know, like 5, 6, 7 years, there's not been a clear structure, sustainability since then. So like, you look at Liverpool, they've literally got players aging towards 30, and they're bringing in players like Jota, Diaz early on to replace them. We need to start doing that, but that will obviously take time. You're on mute, Coach.
Sorry, I was just avoiding the noise from my voice to come in there. Here's Fahim made a brilliant point again. People, again, I love Declan, but that's where I disagree with him. He thinks that we can actually change the whole team if we want in a single window. Maybe I'm misquoting, but that's what I understand from his argument. If we really want to compete next season, I don't think we'll sign up to 8 players this window. The priority would be just to fix the defense, which is the area where we've lost a lot of players. So Fahim makes a brilliant, that's a comment there, that it will take time. And I don't think Thomas Tuchel will be that crazy to do it in a rush, do it drastically, so to speak, and then create more problem than we can solve at the same time.
Because, like I said, we've seen this happen with other clubs. Yeah, not at the level of Chelsea. Aston Villa, one example, right? When they got promoted, they signed a lot of players, good players, but they never worked out. That season, they almost got relegated. Obviously, the season after, they did better. Same with Fulham. They spent a lot of money. When got promoted, they got relegated straight away. So it's not as easy as like, oh, I'm just gonna splash money, bring in so many different players in the club, and expect something brilliant to happen. It's not gonna happen like that. Honestly, it's not. These players and all this recruitment stuff takes time. It takes adjustment. So that's where I think people need to understand that it's not going to be a quick fix.
Yes. And that is why I agree with you, and that is why I made this point that if we are going to make our transition rather easy, you bring the replacements ahead of time. And you made mention of Liverpool, and you are right. Look at a player like Sadio Mane. I believe Sadio Mane might be leaving Liverpool. Mm-hmm. So they've already had someone like Luis Diaz to come in to be that backup and replacement for him if he leaves eventually. So this is what you call smart business. We need to, the owner needs to be thinking about the future. What will happen if this happens, or what will happen if that happens? Okay, so as I'm saying, of course, if you don't do your things well and you try to do a complete overhaul of the squad, of course, you are going to collapse the squad. The squad is not going to compete as you expect to. But to make the transition easier, I'm talking about making the transition easier. To make the transition easier, you need to identify the players who would fit into your system, fit into your style of play, who will be in the plans of the coach, and who would perhaps be a replacement for a particular player in your system. Identify him as early as possible, bring him in as early as possible so that he could learn from that player, right? So that in case that player leaves or the player retires, he can take over the mantle. So that's what I believe that our new owners should be doing. That's what I believe.
Yeah, I agree with both of you, and Fahim said something good. Remember Frank Lampard last summer? And he got 6 players into his team, and then that thing made him under pressure because like the fans saw those big name players, and then they wanted the results from start ahead. So I think going forward, we need to be smart on bringing new players. We can't just bring many players at the same time. We need to be smart. Just bring 3 or 4 if it's possible. If not, we bring 2. That's it. Because like it might disturb how we play going forward. Because like some players might feel like they're under threat from their positions and stuff. So hopefully that will change. You guys hear me?
Yeah,
yes,
I agree with you. I think I honestly do. I agree with you. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, so
I can give
you can talk, man.
Yeah, I can give one last example when it comes to transitioning, like making your transition easier. You see, Barcelona, the Barcelona of old, coached under Pep Guardiola, they had the likes of Ronaldinho, Henry, Eto'o, and some big players. Now, do you know why someone like Messi has been super consistent for the past who knows how long. It's because he was playing amongst older guys. They were the ones who trained him until he learned that level of consistency. Similar to Iniesta and Xavi, they understudied some people before they were introduced into the team. So it made the transition easier. You understand? So if, like I just said, if you want to make the transition is not easy, especially if you don't plan for the transitions well. If you bring the players earlier, the replacements earlier, that is when the transition will be easier. But if you let these experienced ones go because of maybe contracts not being extended and you don't sell as quickly as possible, or the player retires, that is when the transition will become a problem. Okay, so that is my take on this.
Yeah, guys, I want us to move to the next question. So, Fahim, so who are Todd Boehly? Who is Todd Boehly and who is his consortium? Have you made any research about Todd Boehly?
I haven't really made too much in-depth research in his consortium. With Todd Boehly, I know that he's got stakes in sporting clubs as well, like the LA Dodgers baseball team. I think it's 20%, something like that. A successful team. But other than that, I think what's his name? Finkelstein. Is it Finkelstein? He's also another one that's also part of his consortium that's also very data driven as well. So, like I said, like his consortium is not a bad one. It's actually a good crop of owners. So yeah, that's I've only got to say that.
Okay, and you, my brother Kochila?
Yeah, I'm
Have
here.
you made some research?
No, I like just like for him, I haven't found the time to like research strictly about them. But the truth is, given all the other options we had when we had other groups of vying to become the new owner of the club, I think they stood out in terms of what we've heard about how he runs the club, the baseball club he has in the US, and how well they've done. And again, it's comprised of Clearlake and also Wyss, I don't know how you pronounce his name. But the most important thing is Todd Boehly, who's had experience in running a sports team, is the face of the group. I think he has the majority. I think he has he makes, in terms of decision making, I think he has more power than others in the group. And correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not sure. But from what I've learned so far, since we started talking about them, I think that's all I know so far. But again, other than the group, the construct, or the people they have in their group, I think they're the best we can do with, and I think we're in good hands overall. That's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you. And Fair Boy, have you done some research?
No, I don't truly know who Todd Boehly is as a person. All that I know about him is what I hear from the media, as like a repetition of what Kochila had just said. So that's what I know about him. He's said to be someone who is good at organizing and running businesses. So for that reason, yeah, that's what I know about him. But other than that, no. Tobago.
Yeah, it's really too silent here. Tobago, did you sleep off?
No. Someone is busy calling me, so I'm trying to ignore that person. But for him, can you read something that I'll put it on the screen so that we can all know about the new consortium, if you don't mind?
What's this? Sorry.
Sure.
I'm saying I'm going to put a
okay.
document about the new owners so that we can have a clear mind who are in the consortium.
Oh, okay. Do you want me to read it? You're saying?
Yes.
Okay. Can you zoom in a little bit? It's hard to read it.
Let me see if I can.
You have to remove the banner as well and put it in full screen.
Just press F11, it goes to full screen.
Okay. I can see a little bit. It says Todd Boehly, Hansjörg Wyss, Jonathan Goldstein, an investment firm, Clearlake Capital. Starting with Boehly, the face of the bid, a 46-year-old American whose net worth is valued at around £3.5 billion. Boehly tried buying Chelsea for $2.2 billion in 2019 but got rejected by Roman Abramovich. Other sporting ventures, 20% ownership of LA Dodgers, a baseball team, part owner of LA Sparks, woman, I think that's WNBA, I think. If I'm not mistaken, it's okay. Never mind. It's gone off the screen.
Again, why they try to put it up again? If you can allow me, I want to say something quickly. I think he likes to invest in sports teams. I think I would argue that's a plus for us, given he has experience running a sports team. That makes a huge difference. And I must say again, I'm repeating myself. I was happy when I watched the interview where he talked about the importance of a team performing. That means a lot to me, which means he recognizes and that again the team needs to perform to attract big sponsors. It's not about taking profit. I think he recognizes that profit will come, but performance comes first. Again, that's me.
Yeah. So you see, like the contract, it was signed. It had this anti-glazer clause. I'm not too sure what that means, to be honest. But obviously, Ty made a very good video on it, so you should check that out about the anti-glazer clause. So it seems like they're not those sort of owners like the typical American owners. Everyone had the worries about they would just take money out from Chelsea. It looks like they're a little bit different in terms of they want to actually invest. Investing is their way of making money and not just taking money from the club. So that's something I'm definitely for it. Reading that statement Roman Abramovich obviously released, he also mentioned about the new owners and said that it almost matches his sort of like ambition of the club as well. So that's something I'm excited. But obviously, like we said before, you can do all the talking, but we need to see the action as well. That will obviously happen. We will see obviously in the next few years.
So you know about Todd Boehly and his consortium, like those steps all the owners were doing, the potential owners they were doing, they never back out, just like the other ones. So clearly they wanted this, they have a plan for us. So that is the positive for me with this consortium. So hopefully we're in good hands, everything will be okay, we'll have a better structure moving forward. So yeah, guys, I'm so happy about this ownership. Everything will. You guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So anything you guys want to add before we end the stream?
I don't really have anything else too much to say.
Okay,
I think
boy.
one thing I've learned about this man is, from what you've just learned about who he is, he's someone who likes giving. And you see, if you are someone who likes giving, you are going to receive more. So I hope that he keeps on giving more. He should keep giving to our club. When the time is right, you also receive. That's the message I have for him. So don't be like the Glaziers, who I think you were speaking about the anti-Glazier clause, right? You see, what the Glaziers do at United is that after every year, they have what you call dividends. So when the profits come, instead of investing the profits into the club or reinvesting into the club, they take the monies, then they share among themselves. That's what they do. But since we know that Boehly and his consortium likes to give, because look at the number of sporting clubs he has invested in. It shows that he likes to give. So he should keep on giving. Then he knows that one day he'll be blessed. So that's a little message I have for him.
If I'm allowed, if Tobago don't mind, because he's the host, I want to ask us really, what do you guys think about the announcement from the club? It's not really an announcement; it's a statement. Because if you look at it, to me, it just says that the final. It's saying, let me try and look at it again, because there's some people are saying that means that the sale process is complete. I don't think the sale process is complete, but you could argue, I think, I don't think there will be any other issues will emerge anywhere given the statement, but Roman's statement contradicts that in a way. I think there are some stuff left, because if really the process has been completed, we're now talking about, you'll be hearing so much about players that we've completed their signing, because the truth is, like Bobby said on Chelsea Perspective, is this: that's a chance they're waiting for the payment, because everything in this thing is payment. You can't just tell me, anyway, you've paid me, or you give me a check and I'll say, okay, take the product. You get the thing. And again, the owner, that is Roman Abramovich contingents in the whole sale process. They need time to go through the document. Like I've talked on Chelsea Perspective, is because the slightest misuse of language can cause a whole lot of legal issues, which will take another month or so to sort out. I don't know if you get my point. So I think it's important that we look at that statement again from the club. Yeah, there's a chance the whole process, they've agreed on everything. That's how I understand the statement. They've agreed on everything, but the whole process will be completed by Monday. I remember they used the two words, to sell, which means the club has not been sold. Now, you agree on a price doesn't mean you bought the product. But if you agree on a price,
I agree with you on that. It's true. It made mention of the fact that the transaction is expected to complete on Monday. So It means that Todd Boehly has not yet paid for it. So until he pays for it, the club isn't his.
Technically, it's not his. Yes, now, yeah, because the statement would have said, "Welcome our new owner to Chelsea Football Club, Todd Boehly." This is just telling us, okay, we're at the point of completing the process, but it will not be complete until on Monday. I want to get Fahim's thoughts, actually. I want to get Fahim's thoughts on that statement.
The statement, I agree with you, Coach. It's not been confirmed. I think a lot of these reports have been saying, "Oh, we'll be getting it confirmed yesterday, day before yesterday, today, and this and that." I don't think they even know what the situation is behind the scenes. They're just speculating at this moment. I think things have not been sorted. They've not been signed up yet. So, like I said, we'll have to wait and see till Monday, because that's what the statement the club has said, that by Monday that announcement will be made. But if it's not made by Monday, then it's a bit of a concern. Why is it taking even longer? because I believe that the 31st is it 31st? No, not 31st. Yeah, 31st is the deadline. But obviously, I heard that they will extend that if they have to. But we just have to wait and see, because we were waiting for that club statement and they released it. Now we've just have to wait till Monday.
Yeah, I think I agree with Fahim. It just gives us hope. And they clearly stated that on Monday it will be completed. So we can't just jump and start saying it's completed. That doesn't mean there's a huge issue. It just means that they can confidently say by Monday everything will be completed, that they signed the last, they agreed on the last tiny bitty details that's left. So again, we have to be, some people will say I'm being negative. No, I'm not being negative. We have to say the truth on what the statement says. That doesn't mean anything is bad.
Yeah, which it's like a club trying to, like, a club has agreed a contract with a player, but he hasn't agreed a contract and paid the money to the club that possesses the player. So you can agree to the contract, but if you've not paid the money, there's no way you are getting hold of the possession. So I agree. It's a good point you brought.
From me,
what statement are you guys talking about?
The club statement regarding the sale.
Can someone share it? Because I didn't see the statement.
Okay, let me try and see if I can share it.
I only saw the Roman statement. I didn't see the club statement.
So I think Roman's statement just shows, like we agree. Everything they've agreed on. Let's just put it this way: they've agreed on a price, but there's still a process left before it's technically thought process. It's either it has to do with him paying. He's paid the money, but it hasn't reflected on the supposed account. It's either they have to go through the documents to make sure nothing is misrepresented, because that's again, we're talking about 4-point-something billion plus, deal. And like I said again, the slightest misuse of language can cause a whole lot of issues. So I'm going to share my screen. You can go ahead and allow me to, because I think you have to allow me to share it first before it works. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay, let me say, it's huge like this. You see, let me just, if you should I read it? If you want me to, I'll go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, listen now. It says Chelsea Football Club can confirm that a final and definitive agreement was entered into last night. That's a different part of the whole, because this is 2 sentences. But for the first sentence, entered last night, final definitive agreement was entered last night. It didn't say the club was sold. And then it says to sell the club, to sell, which means it has not been sold. Or you could argue, which means the process has not been completed. We must pay because this can get you, in a legal field, it can get you, language can make you lose billions because you weren't paying attention. To sell the club to Todd Boehly Capital Consortium and Clearlake Capital Consortium. It didn't say, and as such have sold and as such have sold the club to Todd Boehly. It says to sell. It hasn't been sold. But this, and then it says it is expected that the transaction will be completed on Monday. Process. You get that? And it says they will update it on whatever goes on. So people can look at this and say, okay, which means we don't see anything going wrong. That's how I see it. People saying the club has been sold, Todd Boehly has been confirmed. No, the club hasn't said, that the new owner is Todd Boehly. You get again. I haven't read the Roman. Yeah,
you see why it's good to have Kachula on, because he reads into the things that need to be read into, and this is important that you have his input into it, because you have to focus on the words, you have to focus on the prepositions that are being used, and the specific words that are being chosen. So that is a valid point to point out.
Yeah, and again, I have to say clearly that doesn't mean that things are going to go wrong. No, it just means we've crossed all the hurdles. We're in the process of completing the sale, but this shows to me, it hasn't been sold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think they did this statement in order, maybe for example, if the transaction they're on a safe side, because like remember, if they agree on everything before the deadline day and then everything be completed after the deadline day, the government won't have a problem with this. So that's my side. So hopefully everything is agreed on Monday. We move on because like we don't want any mistakes. So yeah.
Yeah. Or maybe if the payment is costing is what's left, let it reflect by Monday so we can get on to our transfer activities.
Yeah, it's so sad. Like now we are linked with so many players, and then might go to other teams. So we need to sort this out first, and then hopefully our targets are still available.
Can I ask a question?
So, Fairboy, what do you think about this statement?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Come again. You said what do I think about what?
I don't think Tobago is hearing me because anyways, let Fairboy talk. I'll ask the question after.
No, someone asked me a question. What
let
was the
Fairboy
question
answer.
about?
Then I'll answer.
Yeah, he asked what you think about the club statement.
Yeah, as you just mentioned, I agree with what you are saying. Right, it is clear, especially the last part. It is expected that the transaction will be completed on Monday. So it just goes on to show us that it's not been paid. The money hasn't been paid to complete the sale. That's the thing. So until the money has been paid, the club is not Todd Boehly's. Yeah, so that's my opinion on it.
If it was already his, they'd say it clearly.
Yes, they'll say it clearly. But for now, they are telling us that the transaction hasn't been completed. It is to be completed on Monday. So we have to wait for at least two more days, maybe, to confirm this. So that's my opinion on this.
Yeah.
Yeah, can I ask a question? I've spotted something. I know it's off topic, but I've spotted something that Lee has said, and welcome Lee as well. What do you guys think about this? Do you think there's any factual thing behind it, or do you think it's just a made up report?
I think, when we're discussing contract negotiations, these sort of rumors happen. So I wouldn't take it too serious yet, because right now it looks like the club want to extend Kante's contract. When it comes to giving an extension, you do hear these stupid rumors, such as how with Mason Mount with the contract extension, like we were hearing, Mount might go to another club and this and that. No. These sort of things are normal. They happen when it comes to extension. They just want to have more money. That's essentially it.
Yeah, I think I agree with Fahim. Again, one thing to recognize for us, just as much as Christian Pulisic means more than just a footballer for Chelsea Football Club, N'Golo Kante means more than just a footballer. In terms of being that is, let me just start by saying he is an exemplary professional. In fact, he's so good that they asked him to pay his salaries through an offshore account so he avoids taxes, and he said no. And remember, Chelsea just won an award. I don't know why it's not being talked about that much. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago? And Kante won award as one of the, I think, what was the term they used for him? And the club wants this kind of player in the squad. And Thomas Tuchel understand that even a half-fit Kante. Look at that game against Liverpool, the FA Cup final. When he came on, he disrupted Liverpool's play on occasions, and there was a time he was one-on-one with Diaz. He won the ball from him, and I could argue if he was Mateo Kovacic or Jorginho, the guy would beat them hands down. So I'd keep a half-fit Kante and sell 2 other players at the club. He's a big game player. And the bigger the game, the more that's the better the Kante will be. And I think the club understands that. And he's not that old. And I think also the club at this point have learned, they probably do away with that a policy of not giving long-term contracts to aging players, or maybe extend their contract by 2 years or even a year. Sometimes, in most cases, they've let them go. I think letting Kante go would be a huge mistake, especially letting him go to Manchester United. Would regret it. So I don't think Thomas Tuchel will, entertain that notion. I remember his recent comment how Kante is our own KDB, Salah, and all those players. He mentioned their names. I think that shows you how much he values him. He understands the value of N'Golo Kante in the squad. So I don't think he'd risk it. And like Fahim said, this is all media nonsense. They are try to sponsor nonsense, just to, again, there's a chance Manchester United are sponsoring it to test the waters, to see if Chelsea would be willing to sell N'Golo Kante to them, and they would take him if we do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you, Coach. If Ziyech was linked to Manchester United, yes, that might be true because of the coach. But Kante linked with Manchester United, I don't believe it at all. Because, like, clearly, as you said, Tuchel rates N'Golo Kante a lot, so no chance it's going.
I also think that it could be that United's interest is concrete because they themselves are looking for a DM. They are looking for a DM, and N'Golo Kante can play as a DM, so it could be concrete, right? So I wouldn't dismiss this fact as not being true. It could be that United's interest is concrete. As to whether Kante will go or Kante will stay, it's another topic altogether. But for me, for now, I'll believe it until something counters it. Like there's a counter statement from another transfer guru or so. So that's me.
Yeah, I agree with you. There's a chance it is a legitimate, interest from United with that job. That's me. Excuse me, guys. Sorry, I should have muted. Are we sleeping here? Are we still awake? Again, I'll say, if you're in the chat and you have any questions for us on the panel, please go ahead.
No, it's fine. It's fine, Coachila.
It looks like everybody here is sleepy. But go ahead.
Yeah, we're still good. Still good. Still good.
Mm-hmm. Why do you guys seem like you have no energy, man?
No
I'm not sure because probably everybody's tired. The way I'm in my stream,
this one. You need to do some jumping jacks, man.
I agree. We have some energy drinks too. If you want that one too. It's interesting. So
yeah, the silence is still going on.
Yeah, the silence.
But what's like the topic?
Okay. Let me just quickly, let me do this.
Mm-hmm.
Let's have a pattern here. So Coachella is at the top for me, at least. I don't know if that's for everybody. Fahim is next, then Tobago is there, and then Fairboy. Go in that pattern because you guys seem like you don't know who should speak. So let's go in that pattern.
Okay, that's fine. But it's like, what was the topic? That's my question.
Here's the thing. I want to ask us a question because I think we're freestyling here. If you ask me, the question I want to ask is this: how long really do we think Thomas Tuchel will stay on? That will last under that is the ownership of Todd Boehly. For him, let me start with you. Are you concerned? If you ask me, I'd say I think to some measure I'd say I'm concerned. To some measure, I'm not. Again, but I want to get your thoughts.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because we've got a lot of players leaving for next season, we don't know how it will play out. So if it plays out badly, then it could be a sticky situation for Tuchel. It could be, but I would just hope the owners would understand the situation that we're going to lose a lot of players this summer for next season. I would hope that they would understand the situation and not just be reactionary. Like, at times Roman would have been he would just sack a manager because the results were not going in his way, right? If that happens, I would hope that we can give some sort of context in behind it, because we're going to bring in a lot of changes within the squad. But if it goes horribly wrong, then I think there might be questions about Tuchel's future. But I don't see it being horribly wrong. I just see it as like a normal top 4 battle season.
What would be horribly wrong horribly wrong for you? What would be that?
Like, for example, you know how United are going right now, something like that. Something like where he lost the dressing room, not finishing top 4, and this and that. I think something like that would probably raise a concern for Tuchel's future. But I don't believe that will happen.
Yeah, I don't think he will even get to that. Listen, here's the thing. We have an owner right now who's profit-focused, whether we like it or not. And Thomas Tuchel, on the other hand, isn't the most pragmatic manager. If he was as pragmatic as he should be, we have no business losing that game against Real Madrid after going 3 goals up at the Bernabeu. If he was pragmatic enough, he'd make changes and seal that game. But he's not. And believe me, yes, they will be patient with him. And after somebody that's business focus or profit focus, if you prefer, spends $200 million plus, you don't make it into top 4, you don't win any trophy. Even if the process, if you ask, even if we overhaul the team, I think it would take something. I don't know how you explain it to them for them to be patient and say, okay, we'll give you another year. I think if they spend that much money, they'd expect immediate results.
Yeah, but
go ahead.
But they need to understand.
Okay.
I just make a small point. They need to understand that we're going to lose Rudiger on a free. We're not getting any money from him. He's a top. He's literally one of our main players. Christensen, whether we like him or not, still a first-team player at times. Azpilicueta, we're still unsure. Alonso, I think he's leaving. So we're losing a lot of experienced players, and to bring in reinforcements with just 200 million is probably not enough. It really isn't enough. Like Tuchel said, we're rebuilding. We're not even improving. We're rebuilding. So we're pretty much trying to fight for top 4 again next season. That's pretty much what he's saying. We're not really trying to compete for the title. We're pretty much fighting for top 4 again when Tuchel's saying we're rebuilding. So that's where I think the owners will be patient in that case. Whereas when it comes to next summer, I think they will actually plan properly with right recruitment and everything. But that's how I see it.
I agree with you, Fahim. If you understand football, you will know once you change a certain number of players in a team. But I think we're a bit lucky that you could say majority of the changes will be in the defensive department. And that was why when we talked about it, I argued that I don't see Tuchel changing about 4 or 5 defenders and then deciding to go make changes in the midfield and then in the attack or a lot of changes in those areas. That will create a whole lot of problem. Then we may well go through the coming season and not win anything or not do well. So again, I think the focus will be in the defensive area, and then he might bring on 1, 2, or just at least 2. You could say just at least 2 players in the midfield and the attacking area. I think he's smart enough to understand. He knows how this game works. That if he makes a changes for defenders and then make a drastic change in the midfield and the attacking area, that will affect us a whole lot.
Yeah, I agree.
I think there's what I think. I'm looking at the precedents of American owners in the Premiership. it seems American owners are reluctant to sack the managers even when they perform badly. Let me give you an example. Look at Manchester United as an example. Look at Ole. You see, Ole is not that a good coach, right? Even when he was having that poor season, poor run of form with Manchester United, we were still dilly-dallying as to whether to sack him or not. You look at the Kroenkes, who own Arsenal like this. Arteta finished 8th 2 seasons in a row, but they were reluctant to sack him. You look at someone like Klopp, who I think in his first season, although is like for the past 5 years or so, he's been at Liverpool. They were still patient with him, even though the results did not come immediately. And even when they flopped big time, I think last season or so, was it last season they flopped big time? They had to finish 3rd on the last day. The owners were patient with him. So for me, I think that regardless of the results, I don't know how Todd Boehly would be like, but looking at the precedents I've seen with American owners in the Premier League, they struggle to sack their managers. They rarely sack their managers anyhow. So yeah, it's possible that even though Tuchel might have some iffy performances with the team, he might want to maintain, unless there is I would say a fan outcry. You understand? United like this. Like this. If it were not for the fans, Ole would still have been staying. United like this. If it were not for the fans and their outcry, their outrage, he would still have been staying. So that's for me. For me, I think with what I've seen in the Premier League and with what I've seen with the American owners in the Premier League, they rarely or they hardly sack their managers, especially when they perform very poorly. Yeah, so that's me. That's what I've observed.
Could argue they're probably avoiding paying out, because usually when you fire managers, you pay a certain amount of money to them, because somebody that's business focused wouldn't risk it that much. And we're talking about, for instance, high profile managers such as Louis van Gaal, such as Jose Mourinho. When you fire those two, at least, I don't know about how much payoff what's his name Ole would get, but those two. Especially Jose Mourinho, who's made nearly 30 million plus, correct me if I'm wrong, or a little less from getting fired. That's why sometimes I think he just gets you angry and you fire him and pay him off. Go ahead, Fahim, brother. I know you wanted to say something.
Yeah, no, I was literally echoing the same thing you were saying. When it comes to sacking managers, you have to pay them off, and then hiring them, you have to pay them. It comes with a lot of costs. Mm-hmm. Roman was just eager to just do that. He didn't care. He just
as long as he wins.
Yeah, that was with Roman. Whereas with other owners, they will look into the situation in depth. Roman was a little bit more reactionary. I think we can agree on that. He would just instantly sack a manager if things don't go well.
Yeah, I do agree with you, brother.
For me, I will just wait for the summer transfers, how he will strengthen our squad, and then going to the next season, we need to have a style of play that will be consistent every time. Even we'll take a certain time, maybe 2 to 3 games, but we need a style of play from Thomas Tuchel, because last season, like, we had style of play, but wasn't convincing that at all. Because some of the games we drew is because we don't have a certain.
I think you're looking for a fight with me. And let me ask you, when you say style of play, what are you referring to? Let's be clear here, because I want to know. Let me see if I'm going to fight with you or just let you talk, brother.
Okay. From my side, there's a DNA between our defense and then our midfielder, right? There's a connection there. But from our midfielder to our attackers, there's no direction there. So there's always destroying there. That's why they are not scoring enough goals, or they're not creating enough goals from themselves. Am I lying?
Here's the thing. You're not lying. That's a fact. What you just explained is fact. But I wouldn't say it's down to the style of play. I think more so it is more down to the personnel we have. They're not suited. As I don't know if suitable is the correct word to use or not. I'm not an English teacher. To the way the manager likes to approach the game. I think it is not down to our style of play. He likes to dominate games, and I don't think he will compromise that for any reason. And that's why I said he's not pragmatic enough. But that's why the way. And again, I hope my objecting and saying that didn't come across as insulting to you. It's just me. I like it when the panel is lively as it is right now. Me objecting you and saying and making my mind. I know you do that too, making my opinion heard. I think it comes down to the personnel. They're not suitable to the way he likes to play, and then he's persistent on playing how he wants to play. So the players in most occasions are played out of positions. And it just seemed as if, no, I don't think it's our style of play. But go ahead, brother. It's you're the host here. But I just wanted to make a point clear to you.
No,
I have a question.
Okay, go on.
I have a question. How do you see Thomas Tuchel? Do you see him like a Klopp or like a Pep?
None of them. I see Thomas Tuchel as a Thomas Tuchel.
Let me know when I can come in. I think I have an answer for that.
Yeah.
Coach, you can go.
Yeah, I think you could say he's a mashup of both.
Yeah.
How? I will explain. Now, he likes to dominate games like Pep in terms of passing around the ball, not in a rush to go forward.
Mm-hmm.
He likes also to press. What's that called again? Gengam pressing?
Gengam pressing, yeah.
Gengam pressing, like what's his name again? Klopp, which they learned from the current, the caretaker Manchester United manager who Ten Hag would take over from. What's his name again? I think they learned that pressing from. Ragnick. They learned that from him. So that's why I say he's a mashup of Pep and Klopp. In the sense that he likes to control game, he likes to dominate games, he likes to play out from the back no matter how opposition presses. We haven't seen that in full effect because he doesn't have the personnel to help him execute it perfectly. In terms of pressing, you see when he newly arrived, you see how we pressed.
Yeah.
That was why we were able to beat Manchester City 3 times in a single season, was mainly down due to our pressing.
Yeah.
So those two things. But then again, there's another third thing that I can't really lay my fingers on is that he tinkers a lot. He tinkers a lot. He's unpredictable. Like Pep, you can say Pep, you can be sure this is how Manchester City are gonna play. But the difference is that even though you know that that Manchester City are gonna play this way, they're so well drilled that even though you know you can't stop them, but that's another discussion for another day. So for me, Thomas Tuchel is a mashup of Pep, Klopp, and then also he tinkers a lot, and he's also very unpredictable.
But do you think
I want to ask this question regarding.
I'm coming. Looks like Fahim wanted to ask me something. Sorry for everyone.
Okay. No problem.
But do you think the reason he tinkers quite a lot is because we've got too many profiles in our squad? And not just I think he's always been like that. He's always been like that. Ask people, if you followed him at PSG, this one game we changed the formation 4 times. And I don't. You see this thing we argue about all the time: system, 3 at the back. No, usually it changes. Yeah,
and that's why. Yeah, exactly. When he has the personnel he wants on the pitch, I think he tweaks it quite a lot. It's not really, in most cases, it's not really 3 at the back. We play 3 at the back, but we're more attacking than defensive. Like 3 at the back for Antonio Conte. And I think if you listen to that interview where a journalist asked Louis Van Gaal a question regarding how Thomas Tuchel approaches game, And Weigl came to the should I say defense of Thomas Tuchel, how he approaches the game with 3 at the back system. And in that case, our wing backs, Thomas Tuchel could care less if you defend or not. But although you're tasked to defend, but their primary responsibility isn't to defend. So we actually, you could argue under Thomas Tuchel, we actually have more people attacking than defend.
Yeah, that's what I always try and emphasize when I talk about formation. Formation is just a shape, right? Whatever you see on the media, it's not going to be like that in game. It always alternates in game. You look at Man City; they don't play 4 at the back most of the time. You sometimes see Kyle Walker playing right centre back. If you watch Man City play, they don't always play with 2 centre backs. Kyle Walker plays as that makeshift right centre back. So that's why I'm not too bothered with formations, this and that. You just need to have the right personnel. That's it.
Yeah, I agree with you both, because like as you said, I can come here. Sorry, February. Like remember the Spurs game? We played 3 different types of system that game. So clearly, Thomas Tuchel is a flexible manager. So going forward, we need players that are versatile, that can adapt in any position that Thomas Tuchel want them to play. Because like, if you're having a flexible manager and then players that can play different system, will be a problem for us. So I think from going forward, we need flexible players also. So that is what I love about Thomas Tuchel. Can change anything in the game.
This is where I agree with Tobago, right? Could it be that the manager is flexible, but the players that we have are not that flexible? Because
I think that's the case. But go ahead, brother.
Yeah, because if the manager can tinker like the shape and the system to adapt to a given circumstances, but the players are not performing, then it's down to the players. It could be that the players are not suited for that. It could be that the players are too one-dimensional. You understand? Because if you want this tinkering to be occurring all the time, it means that the players should be multifaceted, right? They should be able to have different skill sets that could help them play in those different or fluid formations. So I think that there are some of our players who are too one-dimensional. And I can give an example. Someone like Lukaku, he's one-dimensional.
I can't believe Tobago said this. I'm surprised.
It's true, but
oh my!
But it's true.
No, it's true, but that's his client. He's Lukaku's lawyer. And he said this.
Wait, what did he say? What did he say? What did I miss?
That Lukaku is one-dimensional.
It's true.
Oh, I'm dead.
He's one-dimensional.
Go ahead, fair boy. Just go ahead.
Ziyech is also one-dimensional.
My.
Who else? Who else again? A few other players are also one-dimensional. You cannot use them for so many things. So these players, if you try to think a little, that's why if Ziyech is not playing in a 4-back system, he struggles. You understand? Lukaku, I don't know what system he thrives in. 3-back.
Just call it counter-attack. Counter-attacking.
Counter-attack.
Yeah, approach overall.
Good. Timo Werner too, similar. He's also one-dimensional. He doesn't know how to dribble.
Yeah.
Maybe his passing has improved, but apart from that, his dribbling is not good. All he can do is run into space, counter-attacking football. So we have so many of these one-dimensional players who cannot change depending on the system. So I think a lot of it is down to the players. A lot of it is not down to the manager, but to the players.
Yeah, if I'm allowed, this is something else I wanted to say, why that came to mind is the argument that Lukaku is one-dimensional, and Fairboy said a lot of our players, some of them, lots of them are one-dimensional. So what I want to say is this, and I think I want to start with Fahim. I don't know if I've had that conversation with him. Sorry, Tobago, I'm not hijacking your show again, if you don't mind. What I want to say is this: it just seems as if the majority of players we have in the current squad, they all need space to operate, except Callum Hudson-Odoi on his day, Mateo Kovacic on his day. Every time Mateo Kovacic, because he can beat the press, dribble his way out of tight spaces, no matter how many people you have on him. Ben Chilwell on his day, and then also, what's his name, Reece James on his day. Others, whenever you press them so hard, they won't take you on, they won't try to beat you because there's no space. They just go backwards, sideways, that easy way out. And that's why we struggle against teams that defend deep. Yeah. So I want you to start for him because they're saying we have about 7 minutes to round off.
Yeah, I agree because it's just a difference in styles. You have Pulisic, Lukaku. You can say maybe Ziyech, they want to play direct football. And then you have players like Kovacic, you mentioned Kovacic, Hudson-Odoi, they want to play with the ball to feet, right? Whereas players, Pulisic, Lukaku, they want to run in behind most of the time. Having those players is fine. Like you see at City, Sterling is that player that runs in behind. He doesn't really do much. And he doesn't do much with tight spaces, but when it comes to spacing behind, he can definitely be a threat. So having those sort of players, it's not a bad option. It's just that we have too many of them. We have way too many of them, and to fit them all together with a bunch of players that also want to play ball to feet, it just doesn't work. It doesn't gel together. If you had, let's say, Pulisic, and then you have a striker that will drop deep, and then you have someone on the right that's also can dribble out tight spaces, that should be fine. But it's just that we have too much of the imbalance with these players, right? There's no balance in it. So that's what I think about it. Just too many different style.
Yeah, no balance at all.
Yeah, so it's not like we cannot have direct players. We need direct players at times because they can definitely do damage when let's say we play against someone like Liverpool. So it's not like we don't need them. We need them, but we just don't have the right balance.
Yeah, I do agree with you.
Coach, I want to add something too.
Yeah.
You see, the Chelsea player, as you talk about players maneuvering their way through tight spaces, the problem is that these Chelsea attackers, they lack what you call aggression. That no matter what, even if they'll close the space, I'm going to run into it. They lack that. And this is what these two teams, City and Liverpool, have. You see Kevin De Bruyne, he's a creative player. But when you see him play the football, you see how aggressive he is. Very, very aggressive. And our players like that. So that sort of aggression to attack the opponent, Chelsea Football Club lack it. Like the players lack it. Okay, and that is why we are unable to break these small teams down, because these small teams, you have to force them to open up. If you don't force them, they are not going to open up. And our players, a player who has surprised me a bit is Pulisic. Pulisic had that kind of aggression. I will dribble you, no matter the number of players in front of me. I'll dribble you. I'll get past you. I'll score you. He's not showing that. He was one player who could show that, who has that ability and had shown it under the previous manager. But under Thomas Tuchel, I don't know if he's been restricted because of maybe he being prone to injury. They want to take care of his body or so. But that's the problem with our attackers. They are not aggressive enough. Okay, so maybe if they could add a little bit of aggression to their game, it would help. It would help. That was what Antonio Conte told the team in 2017 when we won the EPL. He says the players should be aggressive, but our players are not aggressive enough. When they are defending, they are aggressive, but when going forward, they are not aggressive. They are afraid of the opponent defense. Callum Hudson-Odoi as an example. When he meets the opponent's different, like when he meets the opponent, then he starts going back instead of taking on his man. So that aggression, they need to. I think Tuchel has to instill that in them. They are not that aggressive, and I think that has affected the ability to beat multiple men. If I'm to say it that way.
Yeah, you're right. I agree on that. But I also mentioned before that it's not just that, we also lack creativity from midfield. We don't create enough chances as well, and that comes down to the midfield and the wide players as well. When I looked at the stats, we're behind Man United in terms of chance created. I know we shouldn't take it too much like into serious with these stats, but the fact that I saw Liverpool, Man City clear at the top, and we're like below Man United around 4th, 5th, it's not good enough. And that's why I think with these attackers, you need to feed them with a lot of chances. Liverpool, when we played them, they missed in the final, FA Cup final, they missed a lot of chances, right? But the attackers felt that they knew that they will get another chance. Whereas when it comes to our attackers, once they get a chance and they miss, they feel like they're not going to get another chance again. So that's the problem we have with our creativity, is that we don't create enough chances as well. As much as we see some bad misses, I agree, there are very, very bad misses. At the same time, I tend to side with people that say that we also don't create enough chances for these attackers to thrive off. So
Yeah, guys,
Interesting
to
debate.
be honest, what?
I'm saying it's an interesting debate. Oh, you're not hearing me?
Yeah, I think the show picked up, and I'm enjoying it. But now, unfortunately, we
No,
have to stop.
If
we
you want to
can
continue,
we
you
can
can continue.
we can continue. It's
No,
fine. I don't mind.
I think what you need. We'll talk. You see the message I sent you. I think,
Yes.
but it's been a brilliant debate, and I think this is a format I'm going to steal. Everybody on the panel can actually ask the panel questions. I think that was fun. Fahim asked a very interesting one. Fairboy did. Atabago asked a lot of good questions. Ty also came in with it. I think that's a format I'm going to steal. Ty, sorry.
What format?
Letting the panel ask themselves questions.
Yes.
It's
That is
a
the
good
hottest
format.
I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Mhm. And
Yeah,
especially
I
if you
think
ask questions to, I think question the opinion. It's also good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good.
It's
It's
very
good. To me, it's been a brilliant show. I love it.
yeah. Same.
Anyways, before you guys leave, please share your Twitter handles. If all of you guys are on Twitter, so obviously, or your socials. Obviously, Kachila at the top left has a football channel close to 2,000. I think it's probably at 2,000 now, or probably close to it.
Not yet. It's 1,988. So 12 more.
Yeah,
Oh,
and I'm 6 away from 200. So that's fantastic news. And CFC for him closing in on 1,000. Last time I checked, he was close to 700. So I mean,
Wow.
yeah,
I didn't know
he's
that.
growing, man. He's growing well.
Honestly, what I like the most is the unity we have here. We're a gang indeed, and we're growing together. That makes me really happy. The way we work together.
Well, you guys are growing. I'm not growing, so congrats to you.
it will
The
grow,
both of
it will
you.
grow.
The both of you are growing. So congrats to
You're
both of you
growing.
guys.
You're growing. You just need that consistency. You can't
Yeah.
stream to dance and then stream the next 10 years.
Yeah, but anyways, that's and Fairboy, you have to share your information because I don't really know how to really share it, or if you want me to share it. So I'm gonna leave that to you.
okay.
Okay,
You there?
are we going to sleep again?
I'm wondering if that's happening, man. Probably
It
need,
just looks like
they need the beauty
everybody's
sleep before the
tired.
Champions League final. They need the beauty sleep.
Oh yeah. I don't know. Can we discuss that briefly? Wait. Can we discuss briefly the Champions League? Like before we leave, like briefly, the
It makes
Champions
sense.
League.
It makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah,
The
you
only
might as
thing-
well.
I
It's
think
the
I'd
Champions
love
League
to.
final game.
Look at what's going to happen. I'm going to be off camera, but I'll still be talking from my iPad. You're not going to see me in my face again. I'll be off camera. If that's okay, I'll go out and come back in with my iPad.
All right.
Is that okay? And
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
you should
yeah.
talk. Yeah. But here's the thing. I'm going to send you something in a private chat. What to do if you really want to do that?
Oh, okay. He sent it here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go
but
ahead, go ahead with the show. Don't wait for me.
yeah, that's what I was about to do that. Anyways, the Champions League final, and the funny thing is, Fahim was just mentioning about the wasted chances that Liverpool had against us. So I don't really think that it will be a case where there won't be a lot of chances for Liverpool. But what do you guys think? Starting with Fairboy, what do you guys think? Do you think that it's down to who takes their chances, or do you think it's just down to who scores, who creates the most chances, and who is able to defend?
It's down to the team that has the most energy, and there's what I want to say. You see, Carlo Ancelotti trusts this old. I know they are very good, okay, but have you thought of the number of times in their Champions League run where they played Casemiro, Kroos, and Modric, and teams like City and Chelsea have been able to outrun their midfield? Okay, so if you look at the age of the players and how their strength is dwindling, I'm saying if Carlo Ancelotti starts with these three midfielders together, I'm telling you, it wouldn't even be it wouldn't even get to 45 minutes. They are going to collect 4 goals. They are collecting 4 goals, right? They are collecting 4 goals. So if they want to stand a chance of at least competing with Liverpool, especially in the middle of the pack, when their pressure is much more intense, it's important that they use the young boys. I'm talking about Camavinga. I'm talking about Valverde. They should use these boys in midfield, maybe to support Modric, right? With his creativity. That is what will help them stand a chance against Liverpool. Because to be honest with you, if Liverpool decides that they are pressing you and closing up their spaces, they are going to run the entire length of the pitch. I'm telling you, Madrid will not get a sniff of the ball. And their defense is also that weak. For that reason, if they want to stand a chance of competing with Liverpool, they need to make sure that their midfield is fresh, it's energetic, so that they can compete. Again, on Liverpool's side too, they will need to do this. They need to restrict Vinicius and Benzema as much as possible, especially Benzema, right? And one way to do so is to make sure that there's cover for Trent, because trust me, if they don't cover very well for Trent and Vinicius gets to roast Trent, I'm telling you, Liverpool too will struggle, really, really struggle. So for me, I expect a very good game. And I think that the team that is much more clinical would also win. But it will depend on whose team or whose midfield is energetic. If Liverpool's midfield produces more intensity than Madrid's midfield, I'm telling you, Liverpool is winning the game, hands down. So Ancelotti needs to be smart. Liverpool themselves should be wary of Madrid's threats going forward, Vinicius and Benzema. These are the 2 players who are dangerous in their team. Once you're able to stop them, then that is it, right? But they will need to be very, very careful. Very, very careful. Someone should cover for Trent, because if there's no coverage for Trent and Vinicius is allowed to do whatever he likes, he's going to disturb Liverpool. So that is my take on the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you made some good points.
Before I go off camera, Ty, please check your message again. What I want to say is this.
Yeah, that did.
One thing about Liverpool is this: you always get chances when you play against them because they play a very high line. They play a very, you could say, risky high line. You always get chances, and if you get that chances, finish it. Will Madrid get a chance? I think Madrid will get a chance, and they're not going to miss it. That's where I'm scared. But it looks like Madrid will score, but Liverpool will outscore them. And this time, there's no second leg. Everything ends today. So I'm thinking, given the way Madrid cannot defend, you could argue that at this point, except if Carlo makes some serious changes and starts a strong midfield that will, deter Liverpool from, spreading their wings like they like to do. If they can do that, they're fine. But if not, if both teams approach the game like they do in like they did in subsequent games that we watched in the Champions League or in their leagues, they're both prone to conceding goals. But one thing, why I say there's going to be goals, Real Madrid are not going to be like Chelsea, get the chances and squander it. If they get the chances, they will score. And also Liverpool will also score, but I think Liverpool will outscore. Then again, that's me. I'm still available, but I'll go off camera and then go in, join with my iPad. Ty, please check your DM.
I did that a long time ago, and I did what you said I was supposed to do.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. I'll join you guys back again.
Yeah. But yeah, that's an interesting take from Kachula. What do you think, CFC, for him?
What I think is like when he mentioned, I was gonna refer to Fairboy's point when you mentioned about the midfield, Madrid's midfield. I think was it last season, the season before? No, I think it was last season, where Madrid outplayed Liverpool in midfield. Even if they had Liverpool played like Fabinho, Wijnaldum, Keita, roadrunners pretty much in midfield. Madrid had Modric, Kroos, and Casemiro in midfield. They still somehow control the midfield. Madrid still control the midfield because the brain works quicker than just the feet. You know what I mean? Like you can't just always run, right? If you think quick, like with Kroos and Modric, with anything, then you can be exposed. Like I think the goal against last season when Vinicius finished Trent, that came from a Kroos pass. So anything like that can happen against them again. So that's why I'm sort of saying, like, I think Madrid will play the same midfield three: Kroos, Casemiro, Modric, and then maybe in the second half you'll see Camavinga come on or Valverde come on. You might even see Valverde play right wing in the lineup. He might actually play like a 4-4-2, and Valverde will play like a, I don't know, not really 4-4-2. Yeah, maybe 4-4-2, where Valverde will just run up and down, like he did against us, right? He could play a right wing back, then right mid, then right wing. So because he's got that energy in him, so I could see that happen against Liverpool so that Modric, Kroos can at least have some cover. So yeah.
Tobago, if you're still there, what are your thoughts on this grand day, the final day where Chelsea fans can sing Champions of Europe? What do you think?
To be honest, I think this game is tough to call who will win because, like, Liverpool, yes, they create a lot of chances. They score them. Sometimes they miss them. They're used to that. And Real Madrid is clean sheet. They get a half chance. That's a goal. So, from me, I would say, in order Real Madrid to win this game, they need to stop the overload from Brahim Diaz, because like most of the time when I see Liverpool, when Diaz is on the game, they always pass him the ball because like he can create chances several times. So I think Real Madrid can watch out on that. Also, when it comes to Madrid, Trent today is in trouble because like he likes to overlap, and then Vinicius is a threat all the time, no matter what. So hopefully this game, Madrid win the game for me. I don't want a team from England win the Champions League and then we'll be bent out. So yeah, man.
You sound biased. But yeah, I guess that's that. I think most fans are like that. I find it weird though that they want to see Real Madrid win. Honestly, I don't share that narrative because they eliminated us due to a poor span of poor defending. So for me, I would bring back to my head that we're just 10 minutes away. We were this amount of minutes away. It could have been us. It could have been. I'd rather not see it. But right now, I'm looking at some looking at the odds right now, and I know the money line for the UEFA Champions League final is Liverpool plus 105, Real Madrid plus 250, 90-minute draw plus 265.
Are you sharing your
So
screen?
it appears that people think that it could go into extra time.
Oh no, it's okay. That's fine.
Sorry, what did you say, Fahim? Oh, okay. So if you go back through to the question about it, I know for something that Fairboy mentioned that I think really needs to be mentioned in the midfield that Real Madrid have, and this is a bit this is probably drifting off the final, but I mean the fact that they're looking at additions in the midfield obviously wasn't their first priority. Yeah, because of the priority had to shift because of Mbappe, and with everything, Tchouaméni became their first choice option and the player that they turned their focus to, and now they're on the verge of signing him. Now they've signed Camavinga last summer, and the positive form that I can see from this is that even though they play Casemiro in games, you do see Camavinga rotate with him, and it's always a case where you see him. Nicholas or Nick Blue is very late, sir. You're very late.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on? Wait, whoa. I don't know what just happened.
What did he do, man?
Are you guys hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
Sorry, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Is that Nick?
Yes, it's me, man.
Is it Nick?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Can you hear
What's
me?
going on? Nick?
I thought you said 10 o'clock. I didn't know you were doing it at 4 o'clock.
Are you hearing him?
Well, you said
I
10.
can hear him.
You sent me a text.
Yes, we can hear you.
Huh?
I'm not hearing him.
Oh, you can't hear me.
What's going on?
I hear.
Did you take him out?
Yeah. No, I think that you have
No, I
a network
hear-
issue.
Yeah, so what did you guys...
Okay.
Ty, are you there?
Yes, I am. Can
Yes,
you
you
hear me?
removed Nick
Yes,
by
I can.
mistake.
I did remove him. I added him. My cursor is right in the middle of the stream. I can't remove somebody from the stream itself.
But he's not here now.
But you're not seeing him.
No, he's no longer here. He was here, I think, a few moments ago.
Gone.
Yeah, he was here a few moments ago, but he's gone. But we're saying
anyways,
something. Ty,
what do you guys think?
about, you mean the midfield options?
No, the fact that that Real Madrid are trying to build their midfield. I'll come back to you, Nick
Yeah.
Blue.
Yeah, I was saying. I thought you said.
Yeah,
I thought
go
you
on.
said 10 o'clock. What's happening here?
No, I messaged you and said that I have moved it because
Oh, I didn't get a message. You moved it.
yeah, I did. I sent it to
You
you.
sure?
Yeah.
I didn't. I just saw the message. It says 10. Be there at 10:05.
I sent it. There's a message saying that
Let me
I've
check.
decided
Oh,
to
so you
switch it.
moved it. I was sleeping, man. I was sleeping. I was dead.
Yeah, I could tell. I could tell. What is going on, man? This always happens.
Yeah.
Big up to you, Almighty Blues. People are starting to join when the show is about to end. When the show is about to end, people are joining.
Because I thought it's 10 o'clock tonight.
Nah, man, it was a typo. I just realized I put 10:05 instead of.
Anyway, we're gonna watch Real Madrid smash those scum tonight.
Yeah, we were just about discussing it. So, now that you're here, who do you think I'm going to win? What is your thoughts?
Oh, I'm praying for Real Madrid to win.
What is going on with these people, man?
Liverpool.
Look,
Liverpool. Wait a minute, man.
You are salty. You're salty.
No, you're not salty. Real Madrid.
I have the right to be salty. I'm a Chelsea fan. I have the right to be salty.
We hate Liverpool. We hate Carragher, the white, the scumbag who spits on girls. We hate Gerrard.
Oh yeah. For that reason, yeah, I want him to lose. He's like, oh God, I can't believe it.
Yeah, so many reasons we hate Liverpool. Yes,
we hate Liverpool.
Yeah,
Chelsea.
Dirty Lewis. I'm not saying, but because they beat Real Madrid knocked us out, it's only right Real Madrid have to win it. They have to go win it now. There's no two things about it. They knocked the champions out. Now they're going to have to beat Liverpool. That's what's going to happen. I hope it goes to penalties and they lose on penalties to Liverpool to see how it feels like.
Salah to miss. I would love that. Salah to miss.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want them to lose so badly. I want them to lose more than for us to win the first league game. That's how bad it is. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So what do you think? Where do you think it will be won or lost for Liverpool? Since you're saying you want Madrid to win and you think Madrid will win, where do you think it will be lost for them?
Well, you mean the result?
Yeah, in terms of who, do you think it will be their defense? Do you think it will be their attack? Do you think it will be their midfield? Where do you think it will be lost?
I think it depends on one player, world-class player, who knocks us out.
Don't say it, please.
Benzema, the man is the best in the world right now for me. And I want him to do it to Liverpool. Don't just knock Chelsea. I'll do it to this scumbag. Do it to them. Do it to them. Give it to them, man. I'll be shouting Real Madrid. They're going to hear me shouting in France from where I am. That's how bad I want Liverpool to beat them. I mean, Real Madrid to win. Yeah. We hate Liverpool. You know that. It's the most hated team we have at the moment. Used to be Tottenham. We still hate Tottenham, but Liverpool have overtaken them by a long way because of the way they cheated with games. They had Anthony Taylor play for them up, that when we had 10 men. He was playing for Liverpool, came on as a sub.
You still there?
Yeah, you should be here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Did he just pause or is it my audio that's messing with me?
No, I can hear you.
No, I mean, I didn't hear him because I just heard him stop in the middle of his sentence.
Yeah.
I was wondering.
Yeah, we also experienced something similar.
Okay, thank God. I was wondering if it was only me.
Yeah, Nick.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, continue. We're saying something.
Yeah, I was saying about how they cheated us in certain games. We played them 4 times and we didn't lose to them. We should have won 2 league games. We were a better team. In 3 games, we were a better team. The FA Cup final was 50-50. Was 50-50, and they got lucky again. So I just want Real Madrid to get some revenge for us, please.
Make us.
And I want, it's 50-50 as well, because I want Liverpool to get revenge for us, but I also want Real Madrid to get revenge for
No, we don't want the treble.
It's 50-50, man. Because if Liverpool win, that means that the team that defeated us get.
You're thinking wrong. We want Real Madrid to win because
I don't want Real Madrid to win. What? The only reason why I'll be open to Real Madrid winning is because of Hazard and Carlo Ancelotti.
Yes, of course, Ancelotti. Let's do it for him. Yeah, and Nathan Hazard. Would it be nice for him to get a?
We'll get money if he wins it too. We're getting money if we're getting some funds, and if
no. What about Courtois?
Yeah, and Hazard hasn't gone that.
Get that man name out your mouth, man. Kurt Swiss is a snake, man. He's a snake, man.
I hate him, but I want him to play good tonight. I do hate him.
I don't want it. I want Mane to go around him and twist him like a kebab, man.
No, we want Real Madrid to win. That would be silly.
No, but the thing is, I'm predicting Liverpool take the lead. Then Real Madrid with their classy Benzema. You'll say, Benzema! Oh, he done it again!
Can't wait, man. Yeah. You see, Benzema is one of those players that what we need. That's why I keep saying I'm still saying Lewandowski. But, we need someone like that. I hope Lukaku does something, turns his fortunes around. But if he doesn't, Lewandowski has gone to Barcelona, then what? Then who we going to have?
We have
Victor Osimhen. You have Victor Osimhen.
Nkunku.
Nkunku.
I heard about him.
I feel like Nkunku would flop, man. Honestly, I feel like he'd flop.
No.
It's not 100%.
No,
Yeah.
Ty, you cannot thank the West for a player. Come on, Nkunku is that good.
He's good, but is he Premier League good?
That one, it doesn't matter because we know.
It doesn't matter. So you want us to find the player that he's not good? I don't understand.
No, Ty. Don't get me. Look, I'm not saying that being experienced in the Premier League
going on here.
But look, we've signed a number of players in the Premier League whom they've also flopped in the Premier League. I can give you so many examples. Fernando Torres, Lukaku from Everton to Manchester United. Liverpool signed certain players like Danny Ings, who was killing it for Aston Villa. They bought him, he flopped as Liverpool. So for that one, I don't buy that. If the player is good, that's
fair boy. I can hear chickens in the background.
Yeah, I want some chicken. Give me some, man. Give me some. I need some chicken right now.
Who, me?
Are you in the garden? Fair boy.
Okay. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, fair boy. Let me ask you something. Let me ask fair boy something because he reminds me of an old friend. I don't know if it could be his brother the way he talks. Do you know anyone called what's his name? ND. That's his name. ND. He talks like you. Is from the same country? What country are you from?
I'm from Ghana.
Yes, so is he, and he talks exactly like you. Do you have a brother? No.
Yeah, I have. I don't have a brother named Eddie. Yeah, I have siblings.
No,
I have
Endu. I'm saying it wrong. Endu.
No. I don't know him. I don't know him.
Endu.
I don't know him.
You say Endu.
You remind me so much of it because he speaks like you, exactly the same.
Really? You don't need to show that, please. No showing that, please. No, do not show that.
What?
What?
You don't need to show that.
Yeah, I'm asking if he knows my friend when you talk. Yeah.
No, not you, man. No, I'm not talking to you, Dick. Somebody brought in a comment now saying they don't need to bring up that comment.
Oh, all right.
Oh, okay.
I thought you were talking. Yeah, fair boy. You remind me so much of my good friend. I haven't seen him for bloody 5 years now, 6 years. I don't know what's happened to him. Yeah.
Maybe you thought it was him in disguise.
Yes.
So, like,
When I heard your voice, at first, I did.
Oh, this
thought it
stream
was
is
him.
so weird, man. This stream has gone weird. We
Yes.
went from talking about Todd Boehly to speaking about managers. Then we're talking about the Champions League. Now we're talking about
someone's personal
long-last
friend.
friends. Man, this is
Yeah, but it's good. We have to discuss everything.
this stream is madness. I need to
But
change the
guys,
title from Todd Boehly Consortium close to being announced to
It's
Chelsea
done,
madness.
It's finished, Ty. It's done. Monday is only the official signing, rubbish. It's done. Chelsea made a statement. It's finished.
What kind of statement did they make though? The statement is basically saying that it's not saying that it's sold.
It says Chelsea, Todd Boehly is at Chelsea. It's more or less done.
He's at Chelsea, but doesn't mean that it's signed. Come on, man.
Yeah, but they want to sign it Monday. It's no, there's nothing,
It's not signed then.
nothing to talk about. It's finished. They
It's
just
not
wanna-
finished yet.
Yeah, all right. It's not officially finished, but because they want to do everything on Monday for some reason. But it's done.
Yeah. No, but he's not paid, like, he's not paid the amount that is, like, he's not paid to buy the club. He's not yet paid. So
That's the point.
the
Yes.
club is not yet
That's what
paid.
That's the point,
what they were
fair
saying on Monday. But anyway, it's done. We know it's done. I want.
It's not done. We know that he's going to be the owner, but it's not done yet.
Yes, I know what you're saying, but it's done. For me, it's done. If when Chelsea,
I don't know, man.
when Chelsea
I don't
came
know.
to me,
I don't
it's
think
done.
so, man.
It's done.
He's giving us hope. Let's take it like that.
Yeah, CFC for him, no problem. No
I
problem.
don't understand you. Though. Go on the
Okay,
go and
bye-bye.
say all the other Chelsea fans, and they're going to tell you the same. It's done. This is just.
Nah, but yeah, that's other Chelsea fan. That's I'm me. I'm not the other Chelsea fans. It's not done because if
Well, you
it was
scared?
done,
Are you scared? Are you scared it might not be done?
I'm not. I don't think it's in though. It's gonna happen, but I don't think it's done right
It's
now.
just.
I think it
It's
needs.
just final things. They want to do it on Monday. That's all. But
No, they need to put the final dots on the I's,
Yes,
cross
but
the
look,
T's, and then it's done.
already. Kundi's a done deal already. They already more or less. We have Kundi already, and then Belly's on the way. Koulibaly's on the way.
That's not true. Don't listen to that nonsense. That's not
No,
true.
it's not nonsense, Ty. It's not.
It's not true. The agreement has not been made. There's a chance of the agreement, but it's not
All right, you
agreed.
got to see. You got to see on Monday.
It's not done
Everything's
yet.
me. I know it's done. I knew it was done 2 weeks ago when I kept saying it. But
Wow,
Nick says he's done. It's done.
it's
Yeah,
not done,
it's
man.
not.
It's not
Yeah,
done
but
until I see Todd Boehly holding up a shirt. I don't think it's done.
you're too nervous. February, what was I saying 2 weeks ago? If you remember what I was saying?
Concerning
Todd
Boehly.
Tobacco knows. What was I saying, Tobacco?
He
I
said
don't,
it's
I
done.
don't actually remember.
I said it'd be done by Friday, but it went too late in the morning. I said 2 weeks ago it'd be done Friday, yesterday Friday, but it went, in the morning for some reason because they didn't want to announce it nighttime. They announced it Friday.
No, Nick just wants to still say something.
You know why I say it's not done now?
narrative.
Let
Yeah,
me bring
but
up what
unless
Boehly
Chelsea
said
came
that
out-
it's not done.
All right, it's not done for you. For me,
Don't
it's
do
done.
that, Nick. Don't do that.
True Blue,
See it.
What is
True
that?
Blue is coming.
Signed document.
True Blue has a
The
question.
deal has to be copied to EPL, and you have to
Mhm.
register contracts with companies, hosts who are closed weekends. Yeah, so that means what? Company's host is closed on weekends, so it's not done yet. You have to wait
Yeah, but-
until the weekends ends, man.
Yes, that's why, because it's weekend. Monday is all done. That's what,
Yes, which
it's
is why
nothing
it can't be
to worry
done. You can't be saying it's done but it needs to be done on Monday. It can't be done. It's close to being done.
Yeah, but for me,
Knowing
it's
these
done.
people too.
It's done.
Knowing these people, you remember when the bidders, right? We were expecting that at a particular set date, maybe these are the number of bidders that will be available. You know what these people just did? They just postponed the thing. You might be surprised. They'll just postpone the time when we will do the transaction. It's good, okay. So until he pays for everything, it's not yet done. Give me a moment.
Yeah, you know what? Imagine if the plan is to announce a first signing on the same day that the deal is gonna be done, which is on Monday. No, what's going on in the chat, man? Marina being in what does Marina have to do with us losing against Liverpool and Madrid? I don't understand. What am I missing?
Yeah.
What's going
Marina,
on, man? You can't blame Marina.
No. How can you blame Marina? Marina, we blame for Rudiger. That's it. Nothing else. She done great stuff.
Blame for Rudiger.
I blame her for Rudiger.
I don't agree with that. How can you blame Marina for
because
Rudiger?
she should have tied him up a long time ago. What do you mean? She should have tied him up. We all know that. It was.
So what about the time?
Yeah.
What about the time where journalists asked him? I think Matt Law? Yeah, it was Matt Law, because Matt Law was the one that shared.
Matt Law's he ain't got no brains anyway.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you know, I know it's you, Blue. I'm just joking. I know it's sarcasm. But anyways, man, what I was saying is that what about last summer when the Matt Law asked him about if he's gonna sign a contract? He said that I'm waiting until after the Euros. That's what he said. He had the opportunity. Yeah. The club decided to give him a contract in the summer, and he said what? He's waiting until the Euros is finished. Yeah, so the club tried. The only thing that they didn't do, they didn't get in contact with him again after August. If they did, maybe he would have signed, because he said it in his statement, his final statement. He said that after you haven't been in contact you haven't gotten any information about your future from August to December, what are you going to do? 3 months, no, nothing. So I think it's both parties' fault. I think it was the club's fault. I think it was the players' fault. Because listen, I think True Blue would agree with this. I don't agree. If the player wants to stay,
he didn't want to leave Chelsea. If the
player wants to stay, he waits until the new owner is confirmed, meets with the new owners, brings what he wants across, and then if it's not realistic, they find an alternative. And if that alternative doesn't work out, then we allow him to leave. So he was half-hearted. He wasn't.
I'm not talking about that. Look, what about the time they were mucking around with him? They were saying 180, 170, They never got to the point. Already only 200,000 that time. They wouldn't get to that offer. They were saying 180. The most I heard was 180. Then it was too late after the sanction.
I think we've lost Nick Blue, man. I think we've lost Nick Blue.
I think I will agree with Nick on this.
No, it's too late. Rudiger,
I will agree with Nick on this. I will agree.
Yeah, it's Marina's fault.
It's not Marina's fault. Marina is the negotiator. What is she going to do? No, man, you can't blame it.
I'll tell you got it wrong.
She's the negotiator. Yes. She's not the one that says, no, you know what? This player should not get a contract because he is just doing good for 80.
Say that much. You should have offered him the money when he was the right time to do that.
But she's not the only one. She has to answer to people. She can't. I'm pretty sure she would have realized how important Rudiger is. You don't need to be a football mind to know that. You can see that.
All right, Miss Marina and the board, Bruce Park.
Yes, you can't be blaming Marina because Marina's not the only person on the board. Blame the other people because she's a technical director. She works under she works under other people. She can't be the only one making a decision.
She should have got the phone and called Roman. Roman come and Bruce Park's fucking around again. That's what.
Hey, what about? Why don't you blame Lampard too? Because Lampard wanted to sell Christensen and Rudiger.
I'll do Lampard Rudiger really. Lampard froze him out completely. Yeah.
So that's the reason. So because if we had offered him a contract, even then we could have kept him. So I mean, you have to blame everybody.
Lampard. Yeah, I blame Lampard as well. But you can't say the board want to blame for Rudiger leaving. He said it himself. I wanted to stay at Chelsea, but you know,
I
it
don't
was too
believe
late.
that fully, man. I don't believe it because I don't. If he wanted to stay, he would have. If he
It
wanted
was
to
too
stay,
late. He had to sort himself
waited
out.
longer. He was like, you know what? I'm not trying, man. I'm just gonna leave. That's basically the attitude he had.
I don't believe that. No.
We'll agree to disagree, man. We'll agree to disagree.
Yeah.
But anyways,
But,
man. So what do you guys think, man? We need for this final part of it. Let's just do a look back. You know, obviously this is gonna be the final day we can say we're champions of Europe. So let's take a little look back. You know, from the group stages up to the final. So let's start off with the Sevilla game. You guys remember that when Mendy made his debut in the Champions League for us?
Yeah. Yeah, man.
He did quite well, man. I remember that save. He literally clawed the ball. He was going the other side. And he just clawed the ball and he just pushed it out. Man, Mendy was good last season. I don't know what's going on with him.
Yeah, Mendy was good. He's a great goalkeeper. He's a number one. This season, I don't know. It was too bad, you know. He wasn't there mentally. Tuchel made the mistake for not putting him on the bench just for you know, for like I said before, for his own sake, to get his brain right. Let Kepa play a couple of games till Mendy recovers, you know, but he didn't. He kept going, played Mendy and froze Kepa right out. That's not the way to do things.
All right, fair boy, I see you coming. Okay, peace, man. Thanks for coming. Hope I can have you on again soon.
Yeah.
No problem. All right.
Yeah. All right. So Kepa, man, you know what? I'm going to ask you this question. I know Todd's perspective had this debate before, but do you think that Mendy needs competition? Do you think it's a case where he needs competition, or do you think it's a case where he should just be the starter and then you have this backup?
He needs competition more than anyone else. He needs someone there, but and the manager has to drop him once. So you know, when he's making mistakes continuous, you put him on the bench and let the number 2 come in. That's the only way to get it going again. That's why Tuchel made the mistake last time, and it cost us a Champions League because of that mistake in the first leg. So
oh gosh, I have PTSD now. I remember that he just made the pass right. So God, and I just see when he's out of this box, man. And you just see Benzema just kick the balls lightly. He didn't kick with point. He just kick it slightly.
I was there because
straight into the back of the net. It's hilarious, man.
If we didn't do that time, we would have lost 2-1, and we would have gone to Real Madrid and beat them. But it was 3-1 because of that.
Yeah, because we won on the day. We won 3-2 on the day.
Yes. Yeah, if it was 2-1, we lost 3-1, don't forget. So if it was 2-1, we would have won. We would have come out the winners.
Are you sure it's not 3-2? Are you sure the game wasn't 3-2? Oh yeah, no, you're talking about
the first
one. Yeah, I found out. I just realized. Yeah, we lost 3-1, and then in the second leg we won.
We lost 3-1 because of that mistake. It was 2-1 and we were flying. When we come back to 2-1, I was there. We were flying. We could have scored 1 or 2 more free goals. But then Mendy, made the mistake, and we lost 3-1 in the end. But it wasn't just Mendy. It was a mistake, but that night the whole team wasn't, the usual great team.
But that mistake started after the second half started. So that mistake killed the team momentum from the start. Exactly. Because we are not under pressure there. So that mistake really. Anyway, I don't know what happened to Mendy. Even the Western game, we lost 3-2. Jorginho made a silly back pass, and then Mendy should have handled that. And then he stayed.
You know what you learn in English football. When in doubt, kick it out, and he did not do that. And it's not only in English. You should do that. Rudiger does it every time. He's not coming. He just kicks the ball out.
He kicks it out the stadium.
Yeah, kick it out.
Maybe
Go in the
he's
rules
in
again.
two minds. That's why he does a mistake. He thinks, oh, I can pass it here.
He's trying to dribble his way out of it, man. I remember that. He just dribbled out of it and he just slid it. I don't know what he was thinking.
Oh.
Do you want to become a defender? He's sliding as a goalkeeper and then brings down Bowen.
I couldn't believe what he was doing. He really, even up to now, because we could still be European champions. Imagine European champions next season. Bloody Liverpool better not win this because they're going to take the piss. Imagine Liverpool singing our song next year. What we're going to feel like?
I don't care because they can sing it till their windpipe falls out. They're not
I
going
don't want
to.
them singing nothing. I hope Real Madrid have to win tonight, or it's going to be war. If I'm at Chelsea Liverpool game next season, they start singing the song, I will go mad, berserk. Yeah. So like you said, so let me get the predictions once again. So you think Madrid would win? Tibogo, who do you think is going to win?
Real Madrid.
And I think Liverpool are going to win. I'm sorry, I don't feel like they're going to win.
We're going to see. I said I predicted 2-1 Real Madrid. It's going to be a close game.
But I feel like it could quite easily be. You know what? I hope I don't get. I hope this stream doesn't get taken off for me saying this. But I feel like Real Madrid have this satanic power on their side. Every time they're supposed to lose, they just come back.
Yes,
Man, they're supposed to win, man, and they just came. It only took them 2 minutes, and the game was 2-2.
Yes, if they can do it to City, they can do it again. Like Daniel City.
See, thank you, Cho's perspective. I felt outnumbered Cho's perspective. He's saying Liverpool will win. Thank you. Everybody else was saying it. But him said Liverpool gonna lose.
Coach, he had got no idea, Coach. he should go and coach undeclared and his gang.
Hey, all right.
All right. I want to get Coach going,
Yeah. What does True Blue say here? I'm not allowed to skip Liverpool. Okay, no problem.
Yeah,
man.
Liverpool.
It's not about experience, man. It's not about experience, man. It's not about experience, Joe's perspective. They have this power on their side. They're supposed to lose a game. Instead of losing the game, they come back and score. That's pure luck, man. That's not humanity. That's not humanity. They were losing. It was literally stoppage time. And they scored 2 goals. Rodrigo scores 2 goals. Not one, 2 goals. The same player. In the 90 plus 1 minute, he scores. And then in the 90 plus 7 minutes, he scores again. That's not normal. That's not normal.
That was unbelievable.
It's not normal, man.
But that's sort of game ain't going to happen tonight. Tonight's going to be a close affair. It's going to be, like I said, 2-1.
I think it's going to be dramatic. I think it's going to be intense, and you're going to see some close call. I think Vinicius Jr. is going to turn Trent. Oh my Lord! I can't wait to see Trent get destroyed by Vinicius Jr. Man.
Yeah, I hope so. God,
he's hilarious, man. It'll be hilarious.
Yeah, let's hope. I think I just have a feeling the Real Madrid, they're going to win. You know why? Because the way they come back against City, when they were dead, but they come back in 2 minutes and won the game. That means it's an omen. That means they're going to win. They're going to lift the trophy.
Yeah. And I have this thing where I think the team, whichever team defeats the reigning champions, they're the one that wins. Because look, even though with the FA Cup, Liverpool didn't defeat the who they play again? I think Nottingham Forest knocked out Leicester City. Nottingham Forest got eliminated by Liverpool. Then Liverpool wins us. I think that's why I feel like, because Nottingham Forest knocked out Leicester City, and then Nottingham Forest faced Liverpool, and then Liverpool knocked them out, and then they play us and we lose. It was the same thing with the Champions League for us. We even Yeah. But anyways, man, I think this stream has been mad. So
It's going to be a
I'm
good
gonna
day.
end the stream here. But before you guys leave, what you have to say in it, Blue? What are you saying?
I said if I knew, I would have come earlier, really. But
It's fine, man. It's fine. It's fine. I just want to see you guys to see this intro, this outro.